Shiba Inu may be getting ready to go to the moon. In fact, based on the breaking news that just came out today regarding Shiba Inu, if you're a current token holder, you may be prepared to see this token's price go to infinity and beyond. Guys, let's dive head first into this breaking news because this is something that you're going to be proud to hear, guys, if you're a part of the Shiba Army. Guys, let's take a look at this. Now, if we go over here and we take a look at this article that was just put out by Watchaguru, this is bringing home the exciting news that I had to share with you. And the title of this article is Key Shiba Inu Indicator Hits All-Time High with 1.5 million wallets and growing. Now, why is that significant to you if you are a current holder of Shiba Inu? Well, it's simple. The thing is, the more holders that the project has, the more money and the more income streams that are coming into this token to drive the market cap higher. And so what that means is the more and more people that are investing in this project, the more mainstream that is going to continue to get. Now, let's continue to read this article, guys, because it gets juicy. It gets very juicy. Here we go. Now, if we scroll down here, we're going to hit the major highlights. A major Shiba Inu indicator has catalyzed market attention after reaching an all-time high with wallet numbers accelerating past 1.5 million holders. Now, obviously, this is as of today, this morning when this article came out. And we see that if we go over here to the system of truth, the source of record, what I call Etherscan. This is the system of record. Basically, this is that general ledger that holds all the information for Shiba Inu. We go over here and we see the number of holders now at the time of this recording sits at about 1.5 million holders. To be exact, 1,511,876 holders, guys. That is a lot of people in the SHIB army. Now, if we go down here and we take a look at this volume, because volume is what matters, guys. You need volume to make the asset viable, to make it such that people can do things like day trade the token, get in and out of the project, make a little money, make some bucks here and there, and then also be able to see that there's a lot of liquidity in this project so that when the price reaches your desired price, you'll be able to sell and don't have to worry about there being a lack of liquidity. There's money in the pool to sell. But if we look at this, we'll see that the 24-hour volume, this is over the past 24-hour, guys, sits at around 222 million with an M, $876,784. That's transacted between buys and sales for this project. Now, what I want to show you is something that's very interesting. If you go over to CoinGecko, because I want you to see how to do this on your own because we like to educate you on this channel. If you go over to CoinGecko, you type in Shiba Inu, you'll see that the current price at the time of this recording sits at about 401318. That's about 0.2%. Not too bad, 0.2% down on the day. But the more important thing that I want to draw your attention to is this. Now, you see how we see the price here for SHIB, right? And this is a chart over the last week, the last 7 days. We see that we started out with a price of 1279, and we went all the way up to the peak earlier today, around noontime at about 401359, and we've since retraced to the current price of 401318. That's all good, but why do you care? Well, let me show you something, guys. If you were to go to CoinGecko and you look at this chart, you can actually compare with Bitcoin and ETH. And I want to show you something that stood out to me here. Let's click BTC, which stands for Bitcoin. As you all know, Bitcoin is the granddaddy crypto of them all. It's the trendsetter. It's the mover and shaker of the crypto market. And it is comprised of the whole total market cap for the crypto market basically is held by Bitcoin, the majority of that. And Shiba Inu shares a piece of that pie. Now, what I want you to do is and let me make this larger for you guys to see. I want you guys to take a look at something here. This orange or kind of, it's kind of gold looking color here represents the price action for Bitcoin over the past 7 days. So it's sort of like a chart here for you to see and compare that price to SHIB. And SHIB is here with this kind of blue greenish color here. And one thing I wanted to point out to you is this. If you look closely, you'll see that SHIB is closely correlated to the price of Bitcoin. So that's why it's important that we are seeing Bitcoin spike. Now, a couple of days ago, possibly, I would say a little over a week ago, we were looking at Bitcoin actually being closing in on that 100K price. Now we have ran all the way up to 110, 111-ish thousand dollars, you know, depending on which exchange you looked at. We ran all the way up to that price, and you know, we've since retraced, but now Bitcoin has gone back up to around 100. It's bouncing between 108 to 110 ish thousand. In other words, it's really close to all-time highs. And what happens is when Bitcoin continues to increase in value, that also takes the other cryptos along with it, primarily Ethereum. And as you all know, if you've been following the SHIB project since its inception, Shiba Inu runs on the Ethereum network. Yes, it has its own fork of the Ethereum network, which is Shibarium. We're not going to get into Shibarium on this video, but what I want you to understand is, so high as Bitcoin goes, so high as Ethereum follows, so high pumps more the meme coins, which is Shiba Inu. But I would argue to say, yes, its foundation was a meme coin, but now it's really been adopted across the industry as a viable project. So yes, it's in the meme category, but it is a token that is creating utility for my wallet and your wallet. Now, one other thing I want to show you guys is this. This is something that's interesting too. We're going to go over here to TradingView. And what I'm going to do is just give you a little taste of this technical analysis. We're going to start doing a lot more technical analysis on this channel to help you really understand the things of the assets that you are investing into, because you need to understand not only the fundamentals meaning the news and articles and things of that nature, hype and promotions and commercials and all those things that may affect the price, but you also need to understand the technical analysis side of things. And that's based on what the price action is showing. Now, that being said is this. We see this is on a daily chart for SHIB, right? And we see, if we look at the pricing here, now this price is going to differ than what you saw over there on CoinGecko, because this is actually real time. This is updating and moving in real time. But if we look at this, we can see that over the past couple of days, because this is on the daily chart, which means that each candle that we see here represents the day's price action in totality. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break out the trend line here, and I'm going to show you something, and I want to see if you guys can catch on to where I'm going at with this. We can see this. Now, I'm not drawing this to an exact science. I'm just trying to show you here, you know, the overall direction of this price action. If we look at this and we draw this trend line, we can see that the price has been living within this channel here, bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down. So it's actually respecting this trend line. Now, let's go down into the 4-hour chart, because it's always good to do your analysis starting at a higher time frame, working your way down to the lower time frame, because that shows you the pricing action in totality there. Now, so if we go to the 4-hour chart, we'll see that basically Shiba Inu has been trading somewhat, I would argue, you know, a couple of days ago. This is going back to, let's see, June the 5th here. We had some bearish engulfing candle here, bearish engulfing candle that brought the price down. So that may have been a bad day overall for crypto. But if we continue to look at this price further, we can see that it had some bullish days. Okay, we traded a little sideways there. We traded sideways, and now we are in motion where over the last couple of days we're trading sideways. What I want you guys to understand about sideways trading action is this. When we're trading sideways for an extended period of time, that's not doing anything but building up momentum. Now, that momentum can go to the upside or that momentum can go to the downside. But based on everything that's transpiring, you know, with the tariffs and all of these different things that are going on, it looks like a deal may be made here pretty soon between the United States and China, based on some tweets that were put out there on X by the current administration. And so I'm going to tell you this, guys. As soon as those agreements are in place, the crypto market is going to go to the moon. I mean, it's going to be straight rocket fuel. And I would not be surprised for that to really ignite this current bull run, to really push the price of Shiba Inu parabolic. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm just going to state the way it is. Now, let's run back over here to TradingView, because I want to finish showing you guys this. So we looked at the channel here, what the pricing action is doing. It's respecting the trend line that I drew back here on the daily chart, as you can see. And now if we go down to the 1-hour chart, you get an even better look. And we see that, yes, it's really been bouncing up and down, up and down. See here, it touched the bottom of this trend line. It almost touched the top. Back here, it did touch the top. Then we went down and it pauses here. And now we're touching that trend line again, the bottom of it. So I got a strong suspicion, guys, that the price is going to be in for another bounce to the upside, which means that if this is an asset that you like to day trade, this may be your entry. Now, if we go down to the 15-minute chart, we can see, yes, it's respecting that as well. And then the 5-minute chart, we're pretty much trading sideways. 5 minutes is more so for your scalpers of that nature. Now, I appreciate you guys tuning in for this breaking news for Shiba Inu. Like I said before, guys, I got into Shiba Inu several years ago when it was way less than 1 million holders. And now we're looking at, according to the current thing, let me refresh this because it says 1,511,876. Let me refresh this and see what that number. So just remember 1,876, the last 4 digits. And let's see. Let's refresh this and see what we get here. So it looks like it hasn't changed that drastically. Let's do it this way. Let's see. Refresh. There we go. All right. So yeah, we've gained 20 more holders, roughly around 20 more holders. Like I said, guys, the more and more holders that come into this project, the more and more solidified this project becomes. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Crypto Stream, where we bring you motivational videos, news about crypto, day trading, how to leave your 9-to-5 job, things of that nature, guys. We'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care.